Hey guys, Isaac here with Keller Williams Realty. Just got back from an economic perspective forum hosted by WFG. Want to thank them for doing that. But in it, we had Pat Stone, which is their CEO, was giving a talk on, hey, here's what's going on with the economy. Here's the outlook that we're kind of looking at for the next few years, and here's what that's going to affect my clients at. So it was for a room full of real estate agents here in Pierce, South King County. So it was really good, kind of just getting a feel for what other people are looking at, economy-wise, statistics-wise, and what kind of the future is going to be out there. Hey, the truth is, if anybody could predict the future, they probably wouldn't say anything. They'd probably be making trillions of dollars on that if they were actually correct at that. Nobody knows what the future is going to be like for sure. But there's always trends, there's always graphs, there's always stuff that you can look at and say, hey, based on these numbers, based on what's going on, here's things to be aware of. And especially a lot of times with my clients, we kind of start getting into that conversation when people are trying to decide if now's the best time to be moving financially. We've had price increases here in Pierce County for years now. Prices at or above what they were before the crash in 2008, and then a lot of people kind of wondering, hey, are we back towards bubbles? Are we starting to have some issues where we might buy a house and wake up next year with that house worth half of what it is right now, which has happened before. So couple of things, just wanted to share my takeaways here from this forum. One is, hey, economics gets very political. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You're going to look at the numbers, you're going to look at the stats, and you're going to look at the statistics a little bit differently and be a little bit biased either side. Even then, no matter what, I'm going to try not to be political with this. No matter what you believe about, hey, the current administration or the past administration or anything like that, there are some scary things that are going on with the U.S. debt that eventually are going to start catching up with us in the next 3 to 5 years. And what the economy is going to do with that is a little bit uncertain. What's going on with the current trade? I wouldn't say wars. Yeah, I don't get into economics too much and world politics, but there is some stuff going on with trade, which if that actually comes together, if the U.S. starts shutting some of that down with other countries, we could see maybe a slight recession pretty quickly rather than a few years down the road. So basically the takeaway from today is, hey, interest rates are not going anywhere but up for the foreseeable future. Probably not. In the last month, we had a kind of extreme hike, something that we didn't think we were actually going to see, but most people are predicting, lenders, things like that are predicting, hey, we'll see more rate increases throughout the next year, but probably not as fast as it has been. So that's one reason to be buying now, though, is the fact that, hey, you're still going to get a really good historically low interest rate, probably around high 4s, maybe low 5s, depending on when you take that step. And that's, historically is still really, really cheap for borrowing that money. Affordability is getting to be a factor. It's something that we've been starting to look at for a while now, and now it seems to actually be here, where people are saying, hey, we want to buy that next home, but we really just can't afford it anymore based on where the prices are at, where our loans are at, and things like that. We've got a lot of people moving here into the Seattle area that make a high income, and that kind of bumps up our prices here, and that's starting to price out some of the people that actually live here, that are working the jobs that they've worked for decades now, and they're starting to get a little bit priced out over what they would normally be able to afford. And we're going to start seeing that affecting home prices here eventually, where if the interest rates do keep rising as predicted, we're probably going to see the price increases level off a little bit. So if you're looking at selling, I always get a little bit weird when I'm telling people to buy now and I'm telling people to sell now. Why is that? And the truth is, buy now because unless you're paying cash, and then it's a little different, but buy now because interest rates are low. Sell now because the inventory is just extremely low, and you're going to get top dollar for that. Whether that's going to keep lasting for the next 12, 18 months, personally, I think they will keep rising. So it's not like, hey, sell this instant, but something to be aware of and start making those plans now. If you think you're going to sell in the next 5 years, you might want to seriously consider going ahead up in that timeline and doing that here in the next few months. So anyway, there's a lot of stats out there. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of people that are probably way better at explaining this stuff than I am. but I know it affects my clients every single day when they're thinking about, hey, what's the next step? Do we buy this house? Do we sell this house? Or things along that matter. Especially if they're thinking of investing in real estate and going along that lines. It's something that really matters to them. So I'm out there learning. I'm out there trying to keep track as much as I can, kind of keep my head up, seeing what else is going on out there across the U.S. and across the world now, because that really affects the U.S. economy, and then the U.S. economy affects our state economy, and that affects Pierce County, so you can see how it trickles down to you pretty quickly. So if you got any questions, I find this stuff really interesting. I'd be happy to talk to you about it on personal level. If you got questions about this and what it means to you specifically, let me know. I'm happy to hit you up, and we can have a phone conversation or get a cup of coffee. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you got more comments, comment below. I'd be really curious to see, hey, what do you think the next few months are going to do in the economy? Because a lot of people are predicting rapid, extreme growth, and then other people are coming along pretty dour and down on it, saying, hey, we're headed into some pretty serious recession here. So comment below if you got an opinion. If you got questions, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.